Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my bathroom. Today, I want to walk you through my testing process of potential replacements for Laneige Cream Skin Refiner. So as you may know, the original Cream Skin Refiner formulation is getting really difficult to find. Is it discontinued? We don't really know, but you may be having a hard time accessing this. So today, I have lined up potential replacements, things that are going to offer the same qualities, the same richness, the same moisture as original Cream Skin Refiner that might be easier for you to access. Give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. So this is the Aestura Atobarrier 365 Cream Mist. The reason I wanted to try this one out as a Laneige cream skin replacement is that the Aestura brand is actually under the same parent company as Laneige, which is Amore Pacific, probably the biggest beauty conglomerate in South Korea. So formulation wise, because it's a barrier focused product, we do have some biomimetic ceramide content in here. That's just a fancy way of saying lab made ceramides, but these ingredients are recognized by our body as like a natural ceramide. So they still do what they're supposed to do. We've got cholesterol, we've got some fatty acid content in here. So some really wonderful lipids that not only help to strengthen your moisture barrier, but offer that moisturization quality as well. So this one's a little bit more pricey. This is about $24 for 120 milliliter of product. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the Aestura mist does not contain hyaluronic acid or any niacinamide. Another mist product that I wanted to try was the BIOHEAL BOH PANTHECELL Repair Cica Cream Mist. Now this one seems ingredient list wise the closest to the newest Laneige Cream Skin Cera Peptide Toner and Moisturizer. Now in that newer formulation, they've added in some peptide content that they claim helps to firm up the skin. So in BIOHEAL, there's quite a few different peptides. I can't go through all of them, but generally speaking, there's a mix of Botox peptides, which give that immediate kind of firming effect to the skin. We also have skin regenerating and skin healing, like soothing peptides, as well as some peptides that help to stimulate collagen production. This mist doesn't contain hyaluronic acid or any niacinamide. And this one really intrigued me because I bought this on Olive Young, which you may know as kind of like the Sephora or Ulta of South Korea. It's a huge beauty store. If you've ever been wondering about what's really popular in Korea, check out Olive Young Global. That'll give you an idea of brands that are really rising in popularity. But I was reading up about this one, and they said that this is their like #1 repurchase mist from Olive Young. So I definitely was intrigued, especially because you see that there's this cream layer on top and then the hydrating element. You get to mix it together. We'll do it in just a little bit. And this mist retails $24 for 120 milliliter of product. Of course, I had to add in Dr. Ceuracle Vegan Kombucha Tea Essence. Definitely had to include this because it's quite silky. The base ingredients here include fermented tea, as well as sunflower seed oil, some ceramide NP, cholesterol. It's really focused on delivering rich, nourishing, comforting moisture to the skin, along with all those good like skin vitamins and minerals that are found in tea. So this is a little pricey. It's about $38 for 150 milliliter of product. So this is the Isntree Yam Root Milk Toner. There is a base here of quite a few different oils from sunflower seed, macadamia seed, argan oils, quite a nice mixture of oils as well as ceramides. We have cholesterol. So there's definitely moisturizing, conditioning, skin smoothing elements. This retails about $24 for 200 milliliter of product. This is the Purito Oat-In Silky Toner. This is something that reminds me a lot of Laneige Cream Skin Refiner in the ingredients. It's incredibly minimal. If you recall, the original formula is very minimal on ingredients. This is also very minimal. And a lot of the moisturization is coming from meadow foam seed oil, which is, again, that moisturizing emollient element in original Cream Skin Refiner. So this one retails for $21 for 200 milliliter of product. All right, let's move on to some testing. So I do have a Laneige Cream Skin Mist original formula, and I also do have the Cream Skin Refiner Toner formula here for direct comparison. So really lucky I still had these around. I'm going to cherish them. But let's do some side-by-side testing. Aestura Atobarrier 365 Cream Mist. And it's always a good idea to give your mists a little bit of a shake before you apply them. Now this one has has a really fine misting application that I really appreciate. You see how fine? You can barely even see that on the camera because the particles are so well dispersed. Oof. So dispersed that I sucked some up into my mouth. It does have that hydrating, light, watery kind of element. I'm definitely feeling a lot of that watery hydration, but on top you can see it. You can see the richness. You can see that kind of almost like an oil element or a really deep emollient element to it. So let's do one half of the face. I super love the misting, especially for toners like this that offer so much moisture. It's so easy if you're doing like the regular like toner in your palm and then applying it. It's so easy to over apply it where it can feel really greasy or heavy or overwhelming. Because it's that mist format, it's not really heavy, so it's not overwhelming my skin. It feels like a really thin layer of toner, but there's this layer of moisture on top of my skin that's making, because I've been sitting here without stuff on my face for a while, so it's starting to dry out a bit and it feels amazing. So let me show you the Cream Skin Mist. So I would say that that was a similar mist pattern, maybe a little heavier than the Aestura, maybe, but I would still qualify it as a very nice fine mist. Similar qualities here. I'm feeling a lot of hydration. We're getting that slip of emolliency right up at the top. Now let's do the other half. This one feels, in comparison, it feels a little bit wetter. And what I mean by wetter is I feel like there's a higher water content in the Laneige that's really giving me that nice like deep down watery hydration, and then I'm getting that layer of moisture on top. Now I have to tell you, I've actually tested all of these already. I just wanted to walk you through the qualities in real time. I have tried this combination out before, and I found that the half with Aestura actually felt a little bit more dry, and it's very minimal, but I felt like Cream Skin kept my skin a bit more protected from dehydration, and it also kept my skin more protected from the elements. All right, moving on to the BioHeal BOH PANTHECELL Repair Cica Cream Mist. So I knocked this over and the cream kind of already dispersed a little bit into that hydrating layer that you saw earlier. So I'm sorry we didn't get that really cool shot, but this is really fun. With the cream layer on top, you get to mix it up into the hydrating elements to create the cream mist. As I mentioned, this is something that is incredibly popular with olive young shoppers, according to them. And this actually has a really nice balance of hydration and rich moisture, but it actually sinks into the skin quite nicely. Feels really good. I would say that that mist was maybe a little bit heavier than the Aestura mist, but I would still say that it was a fine mist. I think it just delivered more product a little bit more quickly. Really good amount of hydration to this. And when I say hydration, I keep kind of emphasizing this because there's always like that confusion between moisture and hydration. What does it mean? When I say hydrating, I mean water. I mean that deep, replenishing, refreshing feel to the skin. And moisture for me, it's emolliency, it's richness, it is oil based, right? So I'm feeling a lot of hydration first, but I'm getting a good amount of moisture. And while there is kind of that gloss to the skin, I think this is actually a little less shiny than some of the other toners and essences and milks and conditioners that we've tried so far. I think this just sinks in a little bit better, settles onto the skin a bit better. So I'm going to go back in for Laneige for the mist and give it a side by side. And this has such a similar property. It has that first like burst of hydration that feels really good, and then that layer of that creamy, silky, nourishing goodness right up at the top. That's what I've always loved about Cream Skin, is that it delivers hydration and a lot of moisture in not a thick layer, in not a bodied layer that feels like medium layer on your skin. It actually sinks in quite nicely. It feels so good. And this has actually, these layers feel very similar. Again, as I mentioned, I've already tested these all out. I wouldn't be thorough, right, if I hadn't already. These for me performed neck and neck. These are really similar, and I actually wasn't expecting the BIOHEAL to do that. I was just kind of picking it up because it's a trendy product, but I was really surprised at the amount of balance that it brought to my skin between the hydration, between the moisture, how protective it made my skin feel, especially with a side by side. I feel like this side performed equally as well as the Laneige Cream Skin Mist side. So this is the Dr. Ceuracle Vegan Kombucha Tea Essence, and I did give you a cream into a hydrating layer. Beautiful shot here. It's kind of like putting cream into coffee or tea. It's a super fun experience. So you see that it has that wateriness as Laneige Cream Skin, but there is a little bit more body to it. There's just a touch more thickness. It's not thick, like super thick, but just a little bit more. Sinks in really nicely. We have that hydrating tea layer that sinks in really quickly. And then we've got that really, oh my gosh, my skin feels so soft. It's so silky up at the top. The moisturizing layer is incredibly nourishing, very creamy and silky. So let's apply this. My skin is drying out quite a bit, I have to say. I'll be excited to finish this testing, but my skin is just sucking this up. It feels amazing, so good. And because I've used this for quite a while, I can also tell you, because there's some tea in here, I find my skin super responds to tea in skincare. It always just helps with, I always get natural redness, especially in this cold weather. Around here has been so red. Tea really helps with that quite a bit. I feel like it just brings a really healthy complexion. It's an antioxidant. There's some great polyphenol content in here. Amazing. The moisture element, so silky. Again, we're getting that that gloss, but it's a little bit less than the first couple of products that we tried out. So if that's important to you, I'm trying to point that out where I can. This side feels good. This side feels quite parched, so let's put in a little bit of Laneige Cream Skin Refiner. So you see how watery the original is. It's just like skim milk, but it delivers so much nourishment deep into the skin. And I've always kind of used these products interchangeably depending on what I've had on hand. So I know that the moisture level of Dr. Ceuracle is quite similar. This is just full on rich moisture. Dr. Ceuracle is full on creamy, silky moisture with this beautiful, deep, replenishing hydration. There's just something about this that just actually, I would almost even call this slightly more elegant in feel. And this is just on my skin, right? It's just how my skin is accepting this product. It's different for everybody, but there's just a little bit more of an elegance to the way that this just like absorbs into my skin, the way it feels, the way it performs for me. Moisture level wise, pretty darn close. But if we're really basing this off of rich moisture, cream skin is actually more moisturizing. So this is the Isntree Yam Root Milk Toner. And as you can see, this is the closest toner texture that we've gotten to Cream Skin Refiner from Laneige. It's that watery, almost skim milk looking type of toner. But you can see, while it definitely does offer that hydrating layer like a regular toner would, we can see some of that richness right up at the top, right? It's not quite as glossy or dewy or greasy, depending on your outlook, right, as the other ones are. At least it's not really picking up on my hand. But let's do the side by side, which I find to be the most revealing testing technique when you're comparing two products. Of course, you know, benefits and all of that, but we're really just talking about moisture and hydration today. And sometimes, you know, the textures can be quite deceiving. I have found in all the years I've tested skincare products, there's nothing like getting it on one side of your face and then getting the other product on the other side to really break down those differences in what it's doing to your skin. And so what I felt with the Isntree was a burst of hydration, surprisingly, very, very hydrating type of feel. But then, like everything that we've tried today, it's that moisture, right? It's that richness up at the top as it's really settling and absorbing into the skin. And that is actually really similar to original Laneige, right? So side by side, they feel really similar. This is actually So surprising to me because for the longest time, I thought that the Isntree was maybe not quite as moisturizing just because there's something about the texture. It's so watery. The way that they've blended all the oils in, it doesn't have an oily feel to it. It's really surprising the way that they formulated it based on the ingredients because it has such a watery lightness to it, but once it's absorbed, it's amazing how moisturizing it feels and how comforting it feels in just one layer. I started using the Isntree in the spring and I had to stop once it started getting warm because it was actually just a little bit too moisturizing. So don't let that lighter watery texture fool you. It definitely is bringing moisture. And so in my testing phase with this, neck and neck performance here. Very similar amounts of hydration and moisture, similar amounts of richness, similar amounts of emolliency, similar rates of absorption, quality. The performance here is very, very, very close. So this is the Purito Oat in Silky Toner. Now this one, as I mentioned earlier, has a lot of the similar types of ingredients as the original Laneige Cream Skin Refiner, but they really couldn't be more different, quite honestly. Now, this is something that I've had around for at least a year, if not longer. And this is actually something, if you've caught my content, you know that I recommend it actually as a lighter alternative to cream skin. I did want to throw it in here because I know that people ask about this toner quite a bit. It's very hydrating. It does absorb in a nice light layer, just a kiss of moisture. It just doesn't have that amount of richness that the original Laneige does. So I just want to do a side-by-side to just kind of describe that for you, but it really wouldn't be my first pick as a replacement, but it might be a nice lighter alternative if the original formula ever felt greasy for you. This one from Purito, a lot lighter, less heavy, I think even less dewy. This one's still absorbing. But the way that cream skin feels is like it almost like dives into each and every little pore and just goes with moisture, like it just fills it with moisture. And that feels amazing if you have dry skin. Purito doesn't have that kind of quality, you know, it just has that nice light like kiss. It's kissing the top of your skin with just a hint of moisture. Laneige is diving in deep and filling it with moisture. That's the difference. And then of course, I do think that the Laneige is a little shinier. Tiny bit shinier. It's kind of hard because I have so much light blasted right at my cheekbones, but I do find that Purito feels lighter. It's a little less, you know what I mean, at the top. There's a little less of that like rich layer, whereas Laneige has a lot more of that type of sensation. So definitely wouldn't be my first choice for a replacement. All right, so here are the results. The best mist. What can replace Laneige Cream Skin Mist? I think that the winner is the BIOHEAL BOH PANTHECELL Repair Cica Cream Mist. This was really the closest to Laneige Cream Skin Mist in my opinion. Now, if you're more of the toner moisturizer person when it comes to Cream Skin Refiner, my replacement is the Isntree Yam Root Milk Toner. This is probably the closest performance to the original Cream Skin in the more toner format if you like to apply it with your hands. Now, my runners up, you know, these were good. They weren't quite 100% there, but they were very good. Aestura Atobarrier 365 Mist. This was my runner-up for the misting format. If you recall, it just wasn't quite as moisturizing. It just, you know, needed to take it up one more notch. It just wasn't there to be a neck and neck tie in order to be the winner. My runner-up for the toner format is Dr. Ceuracle. Yeah, that was pretty obvious, I think. As I mentioned, I use these quite interchangeably for the last couple of years. So to me, the performance is similar, but it wasn't neck and neck the way Isntree was, which surprised me, honestly. I thought Dr. Ceuracle was going to be my winner. Very, very, very close. As I mentioned, this is slightly more balanced. It is a slightly different type of product too. It's just a little bit more balancing on my skin and maybe a touch more hydration than Cream Skin Refiner. And my This Ain't It Sis award goes to Purito Silky Oat Toner. Well, I really like this product and I will continue to recommend it because I think it's very good. As I mentioned, I recommend this as a lighter alternative. So it's really not going to to act as a replacement if you really miss that richness of the original Cream Skin Refiner. This doesn't bring it. This is something else different, really with a different skin type in mind. Very good product, but not a replacement. So I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on that testing period, kind of showing you how I test out different products and walking you through the different qualities that they bring. And I really hope if you're searching for a replacement, you have found one with this video. If you did and you haven't hit subscribe to my channel yet, please, I would be so honored if you would come join our community. I talk a lot about K-beauty and Asian beauty products. I talk a lot about gentle products suitable for sensitive skin. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, come join the community, turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop. I'm very active here weekly on YouTube. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are in the world, and thanks for being here with me today. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.